Let us drift softly into a world where whispers of the past float like petals on a still river. Here, among the ancient stones and flickering temple lamps, the divine women of forgotten cults speak to us through symbols, stories, and soft, enduring light. Their presence is gentle, yet powerful, guiding our hearts towards serenity. Each symbol, each gesture, holds a quiet magic that invites your mind to rest, and your spirit to wander through timeless, sacred spaces. Tonight, we will explore their stories slowly, letting the calm wash over you. Like a lullaby sung by the earth itself, the night carries us, and in this space you may drift peacefully into dreams. If these stories bring you calm, allow yourself to linger here and perhaps share in the comments where your mind is resting tonight. Subscribe to stay in the quiet glow of sacred tales. Ready whenever you need to drift into sleep. The night is gentle, like a soft silk cloth drawn across the sky. Moonlight falls in quiet rivers over the temple steps, bathing stone carvings in silver. The air is still but alive with whispers of unseen wings and the faint scent of jasmine drifting through open windows. Shadows stretch slowly, unhurried, as if the world itself is breathing in a long, deep sigh. You float here at the edge of this sacred place, where the veil between night and dream is thin and tender. The temple stands alone, surrounded by a garden of pale flowers. Their petals glimmer softly under the moon's gaze. Each step along the marble path feels like stepping into a story that has been waiting for centuries. The stones are cool beneath your feet, worn smooth by countless hands that came before, seeking the quiet wisdom of the divine. A soft wind moves through the cypress trees, carrying the distant sound of water trickling, like tiny silver bells ringing in rhythm with the heartbeat of the earth. In the heart of this temple, she waits. The moon priestess, robed in layers of flowing silver, her hair like midnight silk spilling across her shoulders, moves with the grace of shadows. She does not speak. She does not need to. Her presence is a song felt more than heard, a rhythm that slows the breath and softens the mind. Around her, symbols glow faintly on the walls, crescents and stars, circles and spirals, each one pulsing with the quiet language of intuition. Her hands trace the air as if painting invisible patterns, delicate gestures that shimmer under the moonlight. Each movement calls forth a calm, almost like a gentle tide washing over the mind. The symbols on the walls respond, faintly glowing brighter, as if breathing with her. They are not meant to be read with the eyes alone, but with the heart. You float near, feeling the subtle energy ripple through the cool night air. The moon priestess steps to a still pool of water in the temple courtyard. The surface is smooth and dark, reflecting the silver halo of the moon above. She kneels and with slow, reverent movements traces symbols along the water's edge. Circles ripple outward, catching moonlight and scattering it softly across the stone. Each ripple carries a gentle message of listening, of seeing beyond what is known, of trusting the quiet voice that lives in the heart. Soft drums echo far away, barely audible, like the pulse of the world itself. You can feel the rhythm in your chest, slow and steady, a reminder that you are part of a vast and tender cosmos. The moon priestess rises, her eyes closed, as though seeing through both shadow and light. Her symbols, drawn in water and air, seem to float and shimmer like silver dust, leaving faint trails that fade but do not vanish. She moves into the temple hall, where the walls are carved with stories of women who walked under moonlight long before. They held symbols of power, crescents for intuition, spirals for inner growth, circles for completeness. Their forms are still yet alive, speaking in a language older than words. The moon priestess glides past these carvings, her steps soft and measured, and a sense of deep calm settles over you. Each heartbeat feels lighter, each breath a slow, warm tide. Outside, the garden shifts with the night. Petals close in quiet surrender, leaves tremble in the wind, and the faint scent of night-blooming flowers drifts closer. The moon priestess steps onto a terrace that opens to the sky. Stars twinkle in clusters, distant and gentle. She lifts her hands, and the symbols she carries seem to mirror the constellations above. There is a rhythm here, a connection between earth and sky, between water and stone, between the stillness inside you and the vastness outside. A soft bell chimes somewhere, carried by the night air. The sound is like a whisper of memory, distant yet comforting. You notice the faint warmth of candlelight flickering through the temple windows, dancing across the stone in slow, peaceful waves. The Moon Priestess turns toward you, not as a teacher but as a guide. She does not demand attention. She invites it softly, like the quiet unfolding of a flower under the moon. The symbols she bears are simple yet profound. A crescent carved into stone, a spiral etched into water, a circle traced with fingers. Each one speaks to something deep within. They remind you of intuition, the quiet knowledge that comes not from thinking, but from feeling. As you watch, your mind drifts, following the gentle arcs of her gestures. Thoughts settle like leaves on a still pond. She kneels again by the pool, her reflection merging with the moon above. You notice how light bends and shimmers around her, forming patterns that seem alive. They remind you that life moves in cycles, that growth is quiet, and strength can exist in softness. She dips her fingers into the water, letting it flow slowly over her hands, and watches as ripples carry her symbols outward, touching the edges of the courtyard. A gentle breeze passes, rustling the leaves, brushing against your skin, carrying the faint scent of jasmine and whetstone. It whispers in soft tones, as if speaking a forgotten language. The Moon Priestess rises, her eyes still closed, and begins a slow, circular walk around the pool. Each step leaves a subtle shimmer in the air, like a trace of silver dust. You follow, not with feet, but with a sense of presence. Each movement soothes, each gesture calms. The temple is quiet now, deeper than the silence outside. Even the water seems to hold its breath. Moonlight drifts across the stones in long, slow beams. The Moon Priestess stands at the center, and for a moment, time itself feels still. You feel a gentle pull, a sense of belonging in this sacred space. The symbols, the gestures, the soft rhythm of her presence, they cradle your mind, urging it to rest. She turns slowly, offering a faint, serene smile. There is no urgency, no command, only calm. Only the quiet language of moonlight, water, and stone. You float with her presence, the symbols, the shadows, letting your thoughts settle like soft sand beneath still waters. As the night deepens, the Moon Priestess steps back into the temple hall. The pool remains, reflecting both the moon and the soft glimmer of her fading gestures. You linger by the water's edge, noticing the last traces of silver dust dissolve into the air. Each ripple slows, the symbols soften, and the world becomes hushed. The garden outside breathes with the night. Petals rest, leaves shiver once in a soft wind, and the faint scent of jasmine wraps around your senses. Stars glimmer high above, steady and unhurried. The Moon Priestess's presence, though distant now, leaves a quiet warmth in your chest, a gentle reminder that intuition, strength, and calm can always be found, softly, quietly, within. Let us drift onward, through the soft rhythm of breath, through the silver light that lingers on stone and water. Let the symbols of the Moon Priestess guide you into quiet dreams where your spirit floats free, calm and untroubled. Now rest as the stars return and the night folds its gentle veil around you. The night moves like a soft river through the trees. Shadows stretch across the forest floor, touched gently by the moon's silver light. The air smells faintly of damp earth and soft moss, a quiet perfume that wraps around the senses. A breeze stirs the leaves, and they whisper in a language older than words. You float along a narrow path where roots and stones are softened by the hush of the dark. Every step is gentle, almost as if the forest itself guides you onward. Deep within this secret grove, the trees grow thick and tall, their branches forming arches that catch the light of distant stars. Their trunks are etched with subtle patterns, natural symbols that speak of cycles, beginnings, and endings. The forest hums softly, carrying a hidden rhythm. Somewhere, a stream trickles over stones, its voice small but steady. It moves like time itself, winding and flowing, carrying the quiet secrets of the earth. A soft rustle draws your attention. In the shadows, serpents coil gracefully around the roots of ancient trees. Their scales glimmer faintly, catching the moonlight in delicate reflections. They are not creatures of fear here, but guardians of the grove. They move with a slow, deliberate grace, each curve a pattern of life, renewal, and silent wisdom. Their eyes hold calm understanding, as if they know the quiet stories of every leaf, every stone, every breath of wind in this forest. The serpent goddesses appear, their forms fluid, like water flowing through roots and vines. They weave between the trees with gentle rhythm, their bodies tracing symbols in the air. Spirals and circles ripple softly, glowing faintly in silver and green. These symbols speak of balance and cycles, the ebb and flow of life, the quiet renewal that comes after each ending. You float among them, senses open, heart soft, feeling the slow pulse of the grove. The ground beneath you is mossy and cool. Every step sinks softly, cushioning your body and mind. The serpents slide along the stones and roots, leaving faint traces of light, as if the forest itself remembers their touch. They curl around branches, rest among flowers, and move in arcs that mirror the patterns of stars above. The grove seems endless, yet it feels like a single living heartbeat. You notice a pool tucked beneath a ring of ancient oaks. The water is dark and still, reflecting the shapes of the trees and the soft glow of the moon. The serpent goddesses gather here, their forms gliding into the water like silk. Ripples spread slowly across the surface, carrying the patterns of their coils outward. Each movement whispers of renewal, of letting go, of embracing the quiet flow of life. You drift close to the edge, watching, breathing, feeling the calm that radiates from the water. A soft, distant sound reaches you, like a flute or a reed played by unseen hands. It winds through the grove, wrapping around each tree and leaf, mingling with the gentle hiss of the serpents. The music is slow and fluid, a lullaby of nature itself. Each note seems to echo the heartbeat of the forest, syncing with your own breath, urging it to slow and soften. The serpent goddesses lift their heads toward the sky. Their eyes shine with a calm light, reflecting the stars above. In their gaze is a quiet knowledge that life flows in spirals, that endings are gentle beginnings, that every shadow hides a whisper of renewal. They coil and uncoil, moving in slow circles that seem to draw invisible patterns through the air. You watch, mesmerized, feeling the rhythm of their movements ripple softly through your body. Around you, the forest seems alive with subtle symbols. Leaves shimmer with dew, tracing faint circles as they tremble in the wind. Roots curl into spirals beneath your feet. Even the stones are patterned with the quiet lines of time. The serpents move among them, guardians and guides, drawing attention to the hidden messages that speak in silence. You float here, allowing the imagery to wash over you like a gentle wave. One serpent rests at the water's edge. Its scales glimmer with a soft green light. It raises its head, and you notice a faint spiral glowing along its spine. The spiral pulses slowly, like a heartbeat, like the rhythm of the earth itself. You feel the energy resonate, soft and calm, and you sense a quiet reassurance that life flows gently, that each moment is part of a larger cycle, that you are part of this rhythm too. The moonlight filters through the canopy, scattering in silver ribbons across the pool. The serpent goddesses trace these beams with delicate gestures, their bodies moving in harmony with light and shadow. Every arc of their movement is a poem, written not with words, but with rhythm and grace. You watch as the forest seems to breathe with them, as if the grove itself is alive and aware, and your mind drifts further into gentle calm. A breeze stirs the air again, carrying a soft, earthy fragrance. You notice petals falling from high branches, drifting slowly into the pool. The water captures each one, letting it float in quiet circles. The serpents weave among them, creating ripples that gently spread outward. Each ripple is a message of renewal, of quiet strength, of patience. You float alongside the movement, heart and mind slowing in rhythm with the water. The forest deepens into soft shadow. You can hear distant sounds, a bird calling, a leaf trembling, water moving over stone. They are small yet perfect in their simplicity, reminders of the gentle pulse of life. The serpents continue their slow arcs, their coils leaving patterns that linger in the air before dissolving. Each movement, each ripple, each soft breath of wind carries calm, grounding you in the stillness of the grove. As you drift deeper into this hidden place, the moonlight shifts. Silver and green mingle across the moss, across the serpent scales, across the water's surface. The symbols drawn by the goddesses seem to shimmer and float in the air, creating a gentle tapestry of light and shadow. You feel yourself floating with it, weightless, safe, and cradled by the quiet rhythm of life. The serpents glide back into the shadows, their forms slowly fading. Yet the calm they leave behind lingers. You notice the trees standing taller, the water more still, the wind softer. The grove hums gently, a quiet music of life's cycles. Even in their absence, the goddesses' symbols remain, faintly glowing, reminding you of renewal, patience, and the gentle flow of existence. A soft exhale of wind brushes your face, carrying with it the scent of moss and flowers. You feel your body sink into the rhythm of the forest. Your mind drifts along the path of the pool, past the arcs of serpents, past the soft glimmer of moonlight, toward a place of deep calm. You are held here, softly, quietly, by the presence of the hidden grove and the gentle wisdom of the serpent goddesses. Let us drift onward, following the slow, steady pulse of water and wind. Let the symbols of the serpents carry you into gentle dreams, where your spirit coils and uncoils in perfect calm. Now rest as the forest breathes softly, and the moon returns to cast its silver glow over the hidden grove. The desert night stretches wide and still, a soft blanket of velvet across the earth. Sand ripples quietly beneath the gentle moonlight, each grain holding a faint glimmer, like tiny sparks of memory scattered across the vastness. A slow wind rises, carrying the scent of warm stone and dry earth. You float along its whisper, feeling the stillness seep into your chest, easing each breath, softening the mind. Far above, the stars awaken. They shine in clusters, gentle and steady, as if the universe itself is breathing quietly. Each light seems to pulse with a calm rhythm, a slow heartbeat echoing across the silent desert. The horizon glows faintly, a soft gradient of silver and indigo, where night and dawn meet in tender balance. You drift along, moving with the soft, invisible current of the wind, toward a gathering of figures that seem to shimmer in harmony with the sky. They are the star-bearers, women robed in flowing fabrics that capture the faint light of the stars. Each movement of their hands traces a symbol in the air, a delicate geometry that shimmers like moonlit threads. Their faces are serene, their eyes lifted toward the heavens. They do not speak, yet their presence speaks in soft waves, guiding the heart to listen to rhythms older than time. Each star-bearer raises her arms slowly, deliberately. Circles, triangles, spirals, and crescents bloom in the air around them, glowing faintly as if the constellations themselves have descended to join the dance. These symbols illuminate invisible paths, gentle lines connecting earth and sky, night and dawn, heart and spirit. You feel the calm of these connections, like soft threads of light wrapping around your mind, holding it in perfect stillness. A distant drum echoes, soft and measured, carried on the wind across the dunes. It is not loud, not urgent, but steady, like the pulse of the desert itself. The star-bearers move with it, tracing slow, sweeping arcs that scatter faint trails of silver and gold. You float among them, weightless, your thoughts unspooling, dissolving into the rhythm of the night. The sand shifts beneath your feet, soft and yielding. Each step feels like sinking into a gentle wave, cushioned and safe. The stars above seem to mirror each gesture of the star-bearers. A spiral traced in the air echoes the curve of a constellation. A crescent, drawn with the fingers, reflects the sliver of moon overhead. Every motion, every light, every quiet pattern invites the mind to release worry, to drift into calm observation, to rest. One star-bearer moves closer to a dune, kneeling softly in the sand. She raises her hands toward the sky, and a single silver thread of light stretches upward from her fingertips. It pierces the darkness, connecting the earth to the heavens, a bridge for the soul to follow. You feel drawn along this thread, floating gently upward, weightless, carried by the quiet energy that hums like a slow heartbeat. Around her, the desert seems to breathe. Tiny lights flicker across the sand, the reflections of stars, or perhaps echoes of her gestures. You notice the subtle shimmer of night flowers, petals closed in quiet surrender, glimmering under the faint light. The star-bearer lowers her arms, and the thread of silver light dissolves slowly, scattering into countless tiny sparks. Each spark drifts outward, settling gently across the desert, leaving a trail of calm in its wake. The other star-bearers begin to trace symbols together, circles that overlap, spirals that spiral inward, lines that cross and curve. The desert responds. The sand shifts like water, dunes rising and falling in slow, soft waves. The wind carries faint music, a melody of soft flutes and distant chimes. Each note merges with the rhythm of the star-bearer's hands, forming a gentle lullaby that travels across the night. Above, constellations pulse faintly, as if acknowledging the patterns traced below. Each star seems to hum with quiet light, echoing the movements of the star-bearers. You notice that your own breath has slowed, your heartbeat softening to the rhythm of this serene dance. A single starbearer kneels beside a small pool of water tucked between dunes. Its surface is still reflecting the sky in perfect silence. She traces a crescent over the water, and ripples spread outward, scattering faint light across the sand. The ripples mirror the patterns of the stars, soft waves carrying calm, patience, and quiet understanding. You float above, watching, feeling the gentle energy move through the earth into your chest and settle like soft sand at the bottom of a quiet stream. The starbearers rise together, moving slowly across the desert. Their robes trail like ribbons of light, catching glimmers of moon and star. Circles and spirals swirl around them, dissolving slowly into the air. Each movement is deliberate yet effortless, a dance of patience and grace. You feel yourself moving with them, floating weightless, carried along by the soft rhythm of their gestures and the quiet pulse of the night. The horizon begins to blush with faint light. Dawn is not yet here, but the sky hints at the coming sun, a gentle promise of day. The starbearers continue their slow movements, guiding the patterns of light across sand and sky. You notice that the symbols they trace do not vanish. They linger in your mind, soft and shimmering, illuminating paths that feel familiar yet new. These are the paths of intuition, reflection, and gentle renewal. The desert seems endless yet entirely safe. Every grain of sand, every curve of the dunes, every glimmer of starlight feels tender and deliberate. The starbearers' movements are mirrored by distant birds whose faint silhouettes drift quietly across the sky. Their wings cut soft arcs through the air, echoing the patterns of spirals and crescents. You sense the harmony of all things: earth, sky, wind, water, and light, coming together in a gentle, restful rhythm. A breeze lifts the edges of your awareness. You feel the warmth of the desert night, the cool brush of moonlight, and the soft pulse of life beneath the sand. The starbearers lower their hands slowly, their symbols fading into the air. Yet the calm remains, lingering like a faint fragrance, soft and unhurried. You drift with it, weightless, cradled by the rhythm of the desert and the quiet guidance of the celestial women. The first faint hint of sun rises above the horizon. Its light is soft, warm, and unhurried, touching the dunes and the robes of the starbearers. Their dance slows, and the symbols they leave shimmer for a final moment, like sparks settling in the sand. You float with the last glimmer of night, letting the calm of stars and sand, of wind and water, sink deep into your spirit. Let us drift onward, carried by the silver trails of starlight and the quiet rhythm of the desert. Let the starbearers' symbols guide your mind into gentle dreams, where the soul wanders freely, calm and luminous. Now rest as the night fades softly and the stars return, leaving only the gentle whisper of peace beneath your eyelids. The night is quiet, and the river moves slowly, carrying silver reflections across its surface. Moonlight scatters like soft dust on the water, and each ripple seems to whisper secrets older than memory. You float along its edge, feeling the gentle current tug at your awareness, guiding you toward a place that hums with quiet possibility. The air is cool, scented faintly with lilies and the moist earth beside the riverbank. The temple of the mystic oracle rests nearby, hidden among willows whose leaves shimmer in the faint glow. The walls are low, carved from stone that has softened with centuries of wind and water. Faint light glows within, candlelight flickering in delicate arcs that dance across the river's surface. The sound of water and light combines in a slow, steady rhythm, like a heartbeat that is both yours and something far larger. You drift closer, drawn by the calm it radiates. A woman stands at the edge of the river, her robe flowing like liquid in the moonlight. She is a divine presence, the oracle of waters, whose eyes hold the quiet understanding of ages. Her hands trace patterns above the river, and each gesture leaves a soft ripple, as if the water itself responds to her touch. Spirals and waves of silver light appear briefly, illuminating symbols of foresight, cycles, and renewal. The river hums in response, a low, gentle vibration that travels beneath the surface and into your chest. You feel the pulse of life in every ripple, every shimmer of moonlight. The oracle moves slowly, deliberately, creating arcs of light that trace invisible paths across the water. You notice that each ripple spreads farther than the eye can see, carrying its message softly into the night. A breeze moves through the willows, rustling their leaves like a chorus of whispers. The water mirrors the moon and the oracle's gestures, scattering silver threads across the riverbank. Each thread is a story, a gentle path for the mind to follow. The oracle lifts her hands higher, and faint circles appear above the water, suspended in the soft glow of candlelight and moonlight. They pulse slowly, echoing the rhythm of the universe itself. You float along the edge of the river, letting your mind drift with each ripple. The oracle's symbols speak not in words, but in feeling. Circles remind you of completeness, spirals of growth, and waves of the flowing passage of time. Her movements are slow, meditative, like a gentle wind shaping the water. And you sense that the river itself is a guide, carrying you deeper into calm, into stillness, into quiet reflection. A soft chant drifts from the temple, distant and low, blending with the murmur of water. It is a sound that does not demand attention, but encourages the mind to listen, to float, to become weightless. You watch as the oracle dips her fingers into the river, tracing invisible patterns beneath the surface. Tiny currents follow her touch, shimmering faintly in silver, carrying messages that feel both familiar and mysterious. The trees along the river bend slightly, their branches reaching toward the water. You notice faint lights hovering among the leaves, reflections of stars, or perhaps spirits that guide the river's flow. The oracle kneels beside the water, her hands forming delicate shapes that ripple outward. Each wave spreads across the river in slow circles, carrying calmness and insight. You drift alongside these patterns, letting the gentle rhythm guide your breath, soft and steady. A distant bell chimes softly, carried by the night air. Its tone is deep, full, and resonant, echoing across the river and the forest beyond. The oracle raises her hands once more, and silver threads spiral into the sky, connecting water, earth, and stars. You feel the pulse of the cosmos in these threads, subtle and comforting, grounding you in the present moment while opening the mind to quiet wonder. The river curves gently, leading to a small pool hidden beneath a canopy of willows. The oracle kneels at the edge, and the water glows faintly with an inner light. Symbols form across the surface, circles that overlap, triangles that point softly toward the moon, lines that ripple like gentle wind. They shimmer with a calm energy, and as you watch, your mind becomes still, like the water itself, reflecting light without disturbance. The oracle dips her hands, allowing water to flow through her fingers. Each drop carries a symbol, a gentle spark of foresight that drifts across the surface. You float along with the ripples, noticing how they spread, touching everything softly, evenly, without rush or force. The patterns feel like guidance, not instruction, soft suggestions for the heart rather than commands for the mind. A soft wind moves through the riverbank, carrying scents of night flowers and wet stone. The leaves tremble slightly, casting moving shadows on the water. The oracle rises, her robe brushing the surface like a soft caress. She moves slowly along the bank, her fingers tracing arcs and spirals that shimmer faintly, leaving temporary marks that fade into the calm river. You drift beside her presence, carried gently by the quiet rhythm of water and moonlight. The stars above twinkle faintly, reflecting on the ripples in soft silver trails. The oracle lifts her gaze, as if reading the messages carried in the currents. You feel that each symbol she creates is a bridge between night and dream, water and sky, the self and the quiet whispers of the universe. Her presence is steady, her gestures unhurried, and your mind softens, sinking deeper into the serenity of the night. A faint, distant chant rises again, blending with the gentle sounds of water and wind. The river seems to breathe with the rhythm, moving slowly and deliberately, carrying messages of renewal and foresight. You notice your own heartbeat syncing with this rhythm, calm and unhurried, each breath lengthening as your body and mind float gently along the water's path. The oracle kneels once more by the hidden pool. She traces a crescent over the surface, and ripples spiral outward in slow arcs. Each ripple carries a gentle suggestion of patience, of quiet observation, of understanding without effort. You float above, letting your awareness follow each circle, each arc, each subtle shimmer of light. The river becomes a mirror for the mind, stilling thought, softening awareness, and opening the heart to calm reflection. The water flows past ancient stones, worn smooth by centuries of presence. The symbols trace themselves along the current, fading gradually but leaving a faint, lasting glow in the mind. You feel the softness of this energy, a gentle warmth that spreads from the chest to the fingertips, a quiet reassurance that life moves in cycles, that insight is gentle, and that calm can always be found along the flowing path of time. The night deepens further, and the river widens, carrying the faint reflections of moon and stars across its surface. The oracle steps softly along the bank, leaving the water still but shimmering with subtle patterns. You float alongside, weightless, noticing the gentle dance of light and water, the slow arcs of wind through the leaves, and the rhythmic pulse of the river's quiet heart. The temple lanterns flicker faintly, casting golden light across the stones. Each candle seems to echo the movement of the river, the gestures of the oracle, the patterns traced above the water. The air hums with calm energy, subtle and protective, holding the mind in perfect stillness. You drift with the water, carried gently past ripples and reflections, past arcs of silver light, deeper into serene quiet. Soft wings brush the air, perhaps birds, perhaps spirits of the river, moving with arcs and spirals that mirror the oracle's symbols. Their flight is slow, careful, and deliberate. You feel the same rhythm in your chest, a heartbeat that is quiet, soft, and undisturbed. The water continues to flow, the symbols continue to shimmer, and your mind floats in gentle observation, untethered from thought or worry. The oracle dips her hands one last time, tracing arcs that dissolve slowly into the still water. The ripples fade, leaving only calm. The river glows faintly under the moonlight, reflecting the stars above in a perfect mirror. You float with the final shimmer, noticing the gentle pulse of life in every movement, every soft sound, every subtle light. Let us drift onward, following the slow, deliberate rhythm of the river, carried by the oracle's gentle guidance. Let the symbols of foresight and sacred knowledge float with you into quiet dreams, where the mind and heart rest easily. Now rest, as the stars return and the waters of the mystic oracle settle softly, cradling your spirit in serene calm. The night is deep, and the air smells faintly of warm wood and incense. A soft glow flickers in the distance, calling gently through the quiet. You drift toward it, feeling the calm pull of warmth against the coolness of the night. The path is soft beneath your feet, lined with moss and scattered petals. Each step feels cushioned, as if the earth itself sighs with relief, welcoming you into a place of safety. The sanctuary lies nestled among low hills, its walls low and curved, built of stone smoothed by centuries of wind. Smoke curls lazily from its chimneys, carrying a gentle fragrance of herbs and flowers. Lanterns hang from wooden beams, their light dancing softly across the walls. The windows glow like golden eyes, warm and inviting, promising quiet comfort within. You float closer, feeling the hush of the night settle around your shoulders. Inside, the hearth burns with sacred flames, soft and alive. The fire moves like liquid, flickering and curling with delicate arcs of light. It casts gentle shadows across the walls, patterns that shift slowly, rhythmically. The heat is comforting, a warm embrace that travels from the hearth to the heart, coaxing muscles to relax and thoughts to drift away. The flames do not burn fiercely. They move with calm, steady grace, inviting quiet reflection. Around the hearth, divine women kneel and move softly, their hands tracing symbols in the air above the fire. Spirals, circles, and crescents shimmer in faint light, dancing with the flames. Each gesture radiates a gentle energy, a warmth that spreads slowly into the room, filling every corner with quiet devotion. Their presence is tender, not commanding, a calm invitation to rest, to breathe, to let the heart soften. The room is filled with quiet sounds, the soft crackle of firewood, the slow movement of robes across the floor, the faint rustle of leaves pressed against the windows by the night wind. Each sound is small, delicate, like notes in a lullaby. You float along these rhythms, noticing how the warmth of the hearth seeps into the air, into your body, into the mind itself. You feel lighter, more present, more at ease with the gentle flow of time. The goddesses of the hearth move slowly, dipping their hands toward the fire, tracing gentle circles above it. Sparks rise in tiny arcs, hovering briefly in the air before dissolving into the golden glow. Each spark carries a symbol, a sign of comfort, a reminder of love, a quiet call to devotion. You notice that these symbols are soft, never harsh, glowing gently like sunlight filtered through leaves. They drift through the air, brushing your awareness, leaving calm in their wake. A soft bell chimes somewhere within the sanctuary, its tone low and full, resonating through the warmth. It blends with the crackling fire, creating a rhythm that feels like a heartbeat. You breathe with it slowly and softly, letting the sound anchor you in the quiet present. The flames respond, flickering gently as if in conversation with the bell, moving in arcs that mirror the curves of your own relaxed body. The goddesses trace lines in the air, connecting the hearth to the lanterns, the windows, and the ceiling above. Light moves with them, gentle threads linking earth and sky, warmth and shadow, body and spirit. You float with these threads, weightless, as the patterns swirl and dissolve slowly, leaving behind a calm glow that seems to settle inside you. A breeze drifts through the open windows, carrying scents of night flowers and soft herbs. It stirs the flames just enough to make the light dance more vividly, casting arcs and spirals across the walls. The goddesses move with the wind, tracing the shapes that ripple in the air. Each gesture feels meditative, a quiet rhythm that guides your breath and eases your mind. The room seems alive with gentle motion, yet stillness remains at its heart. One goddess kneels near the hearth, her hands cupped above the flames. Tiny sparks rise into the air, forming circles and spirals that hover briefly before fading. Each symbol feels like a soft message: patience, care, warmth, and quiet love. You float beside her presence, letting the shapes drift through your awareness. The air feels warmer here, yet soft, as though the fire and its guardians are holding you gently, allowing every thought to settle. The sanctuary expands in your mind, larger than the walls, stretching outward like the warmth of a hug that knows no boundaries. The fire's glow reaches the corners of the room, touches the ceiling, and drifts along the wooden beams. Shadows curl slowly, soft arcs that rise and fall with the rhythm of the flames. You float with them, moving slowly, weightless, carried by the warmth and the quiet devotion that fills the space. Outside, the night wind softens, brushing against the windows, stirring leaves, carrying scents of earth and flowers. You notice faint stars through the open skylight, twinkling softly above the flickering light. The goddesses raise their hands toward the stars, tracing arcs that connect fire and sky, earth and heaven, heart and mind. The symbols glow briefly in the golden light before fading, leaving a lasting sense of calm and gentle protection. A low chant rises from the back of the sanctuary, barely audible, blending with the fire and the night wind. It is a chant of gratitude, of quiet devotion, of warmth shared with all beings. You float with it, letting the sound wrap around you, your body sinking deeper into the rhythm, your thoughts softening with every note. The flames respond, flickering more gently, moving in harmony with the chant, spreading warmth across every corner of the room and every corner of the mind. The goddesses kneel once more, their hands resting softly on the floor. The fire glows steadily, casting a calm, golden aura across the sanctuary. Shadows soften, shapes dissolve, and the room seems to breathe with the presence of the divine. You notice the comfort in every gesture, the love in every flicker, the devotion that radiates quietly and continuously. Your body relaxes further, every muscle and thought sinking gently into stillness. Tiny sparks rise one last time, floating slowly upward toward the ceiling. They vanish into the air, leaving only calm behind. The warmth remains steady and gentle, like a soft heartbeat beneath your chest. You drift along the same rhythm, weightless, cradled by the hearth, the goddesses, the quiet devotion of the sanctuary. Each breath is slow and steady, carrying you deeper into restful peace. The lanterns flicker softly, casting arcs of golden light across the walls and ceiling. The fire's glow bathes everything in warmth, filling the space with a gentle hum that seems to resonate with your chest. You float in this calm, noticing how the warmth, the symbols, and the gentle sounds combine to form a perfect cradle for the mind. All thoughts dissolve, leaving only quiet reflection and soft, comforting presence. Outside, the night has deepened further, but inside the sanctuary, everything is tender and secure. The flames flicker in arcs, the symbols trace gentle circles in the air, and the goddesses move slowly, deliberately, radiating love and calm. You float among them, carried softly by the rhythm of fire and devotion, letting the energy settle deep into your spirit, grounding you in quiet and gentle awareness. The goddesses lower their hands one final time, resting them lightly over the hearth. The fire continues to burn softly, steady, and serene. You notice the lingering glow of symbols, faint traces of circles and spirals that pulse with calm energy. You float in this presence, weightless, quiet, and completely held by warmth, love, and soft devotion. Let us drift onward, carried by the gentle arcs of flame and the quiet rhythm of the hearth. Let the warmth and symbols of the goddesses settle into your heart and mind, guiding you into gentle dreams. Now rest as the night holds the sanctuary softly, and the eternal hearth continues to burn, lighting the spirit with calm love and serene devotion. The night is quiet, almost still, and a soft mist curls through the air, brushing gently against the skin. You float along a path that twists and turns, paved with smooth stones that glimmer faintly in the moonlight. Each step is slow and deliberate, echoing softly, a delicate rhythm that blends with the whispering wind. Shadows move alongside you, soft and fluid, curling around pillars and walls as though breathing with their own life. The labyrinth stretches wider, its corridors winding in gentle curves. Soft candlelight glows at intervals, casting pools of warmth and golden reflection across the cool stones. You notice the faint patterns of flowers etched in the walls, delicate spirals and crescents that shimmer as if alive. The air is cool and fragrant, carrying the subtle scent of jasmine and sandalwood, a quiet invitation to move deeper into calm and contemplation. In the distance, a faint melody drifts through the corridors, carried on the whispering breeze. It is soft, unhurried, like the hum of a lullaby sung by unseen voices. You follow the sound slowly, each step feeling lighter, more weightless, as the labyrinth itself seems to guide you. The shadows respond, stretching and bending, forming gentle arcs that lead toward a faint glow further ahead. Within the labyrinth, divine women move with grace. Their robes trail softly, brushing the floor in quiet arcs. They are guides, guardians of the paths between walls, their hands tracing shapes in the air that dissolve into soft light. Spirals, circles, and curves appear above their fingers, glowing faintly and then fading, leaving only a sense of gentle presence. Each gesture seems to reassure, to invite trust in the path, no matter how winding or dim the corridors may appear. The first goddess steps closer, her gaze serene and steady. She moves slowly, almost floating, and her shadow stretches behind her, merging with the soft darkness. She reaches out a hand, tracing an arc across the floor, and the stones respond with a faint silver glow. It is a soft signal, a quiet sign that each turn and passage has purpose. You feel yourself drawn to follow, stepping carefully, letting the rhythm of her gestures guide your own movement. The walls around you shift subtly, the labyrinth alive yet gentle, breathing with a quiet intelligence. Tiny motes of light float in the air, reflections of the goddess's symbols, or perhaps fragments of the night sky brought close. Each glow twinkles softly, illuminating just enough to reveal the next curve of the path. The shadows seem protective, curling around without obscuring, holding space for quiet exploration. You float through these corridors, your mind relaxing with every echoing step. A soft rustle of silk announces the presence of another goddess. She kneels at a turn, tracing small circles with her fingers above the floor. The circles pulse faintly, sending gentle waves of warmth through the stone beneath your feet. Each pulse feels like a heartbeat, slow and steady, guiding the rhythm of your own breath. You notice how the labyrinth itself seems to respond. Passages opening in subtle arcs, light shifting softly, shadows bending tenderly around you. The air carries a faint fragrance of night-blooming flowers, sweet and calming. You drift further, following the interplay of shadow and light. The labyrinth's corridors fold gently upon themselves, creating small alcoves where faint pools of candlelight gather. In these alcoves, symbols appear briefly on the walls: crescents, spirals, interlaced lines, soft reminders of patience, trust, and surrender. Each symbol is delicate, subtle, never urgent, inviting you to pause and breathe. The goddesses move in slow patterns, tracing gentle arcs along the walls and floors. Their gestures leave trails of silver light that vanish softly, yet linger in your mind as impressions of calm and guidance. The labyrinth is not meant to be rushed. Each step, each turn, is a meditation, a slow dance with shadows and light. You feel weightless, floating along the path, held by the steady rhythm of their presence. A distant bell chimes faintly, its tone soft and warm, echoing through the winding halls. You feel it vibrate beneath your chest, in harmony with your own steady heartbeat. The goddesses respond, tracing arcs and spirals that shimmer faintly in the candlelight. Each movement mirrors the gentle pulse of the bell, a slow cadence that encourages your mind to release tension and settle deeply into calm. The labyrinth curves again, opening into a wider chamber. Soft shadows stretch across the stone floor, folding over themselves like gentle waves. A goddess kneels at its center, her hands tracing overlapping circles above the stones. Each circle radiates a soft glow, moving outward in delicate arcs. You drift closer, letting the light brush against your awareness, carrying with it a sense of trust, surrender, and serene patience. The chamber feels timeless, removed from the pressures of thought and memory. Shadows and candlelight mingle, flowing in slow measured currents. The goddess lifts her gaze, eyes soft and steady, and for a moment you feel the labyrinth itself breathe with her presence. Each symbol traced in the air is a reminder that even winding paths, even uncertainty, can be met with calm, gentle attention. Another corridor beckons, winding deeper into quiet. You follow weightless, noticing how the shadows shift and lengthen, guiding you softly without pressure. Small symbols appear on the walls as you move. Spirals for growth, crescents for intuition, arcs for gentle movement forward. They are subtle, delicate, meant not to instruct but to ease the mind into trust. You feel a deep release, like exhaling tension you did not know you held. The goddesses trace slow patterns along the walls, leaving light that dissolves softly into shadow. You float beside their presence, following the subtle signals of the labyrinth. Each echoing step becomes a meditation, a soft reflection on patience and surrender. The air carries faint scents of sandalwood and jasmine, calming and grounding, mingling with the faint warmth of the candlelight. In a quiet alcove, a goddess kneels before a shallow basin of water. She traces circles above its surface, ripples spreading gently outward. Each ripple reflects candlelight, creating soft arcs of silver that blend with the shadows. You float closer, noticing how each wave carries calm, how each reflection mirrors serenity. Your breath slows with the rhythm, your mind softens, and the labyrinth feels less like a maze and more like a gentle guide. The passage curves again, a slow turn leading back toward a faint exit. Shadows fold in gentle layers, candlelight flickers softly, and the goddess's movements slow. Each step you take feels lighter, as though the labyrinth itself supports your passage. You notice how the arcs of light trace your path, and how the gentle glow of symbols remains in your awareness, softening every thought. A soft chorus of whispers drifts through the corridors, blending with the sound of distant footsteps and the gentle pulse of candlelight. It is a lullaby of trust, patience, and surrender, a melody that carries you toward the edge of the labyrinth. The goddesses lift their hands once more, tracing arcs and spirals that dissolve softly, leaving only calm and gentle presence behind. You reach the outer corridor, where shadows thin and candlelight pools across the stones. The labyrinth opens to a quiet courtyard, moonlight spilling across its floor. The goddesses kneel briefly, their gestures slowing to stillness. You float among them, weightless and serene, feeling the gentle embrace of shadows, the soft guidance of symbols, and the calm assurance of the labyrinth itself. Let us drift onward, carried by the slow, deliberate rhythm of light and shadow. Let the soft guidance of the goddesses remain in your heart, leading you into quiet dreams, where patience, trust, and gentle surrender are always present. Now rest, as the moonlight warms the labyrinth softly, and the shadows settle in calm, protecting your spirit in serene peace. The air is still, carrying a gentle warmth, as if the world itself has paused to breathe. A faint glow shimmers in the distance, soft and golden, beckoning you forward with quiet invitation. You drift along a path of smooth stones, each step cushioned by soft moss and the faint scent of blooming night flowers. The light grows brighter as you approach, yet it never burns or overwhelms, only guides you gently, like a whisper of calm in the darkness. Before you rests a sanctuary, its walls low and curved, bathed in a soft golden radiance. Lanterns hang delicately, swaying slightly in a breeze you can barely feel, casting arcs of light across the floor. Inside, the air is scented with warm herbs, and the faint crackle of a fire adds a subtle rhythm to the stillness. You float toward the center, drawn by a glow that seems both near and infinite, and there it rests, a golden chalice placed upon a low pedestal, radiating calm and quiet clarity. The chalice is filled with a light that seems alive, shimmering gently in soft ripples. It is not a blinding glow, but a serene illumination that touches everything nearby. The divine women move quietly around it, their hands tracing subtle symbols in the air, circles, spirals, and soft arcs that shimmer briefly before dissolving into warmth. Each movement feels like a slow, deliberate breath, a dance that invites the spirit to rest, to release, to trust in the gentle flow of sacred calm. You notice the chalice's light reflect in the eyes of the women, a mirror of serenity that spreads through the sanctuary. Their presence is soft, unhurried, almost floating as they move with gentle grace. They gesture with open palms, inviting you to come closer, to let the calm essence of the chalice enter your awareness. Each step toward it feels lighter, as if the path itself supports your movement, and the air seems to hum softly with quiet devotion. The first woman kneels before the chalice, her robes flowing like a river of gold. She lifts her hands slowly, tracing gentle arcs above the light. Sparks rise from the chalice in delicate curves, fading softly as they touch the air. These sparks carry symbols, small, luminous sigils of peace, clarity, and inner strength. You float beside her presence, letting each symbol brush against your consciousness, softening thoughts and dissolving tension. A subtle scent of honey and warm earth drifts from the chalice, mingling with the faint fragrance of night-blooming flowers. You inhale slowly, letting the aroma settle in your chest and mind. Each breath draws in serenity. Each exhale releases worry. The women trace their symbols again, and the light from the chalice responds, rippling in gentle arcs that wash softly over the room, illuminating every shadow with calm radiance. Another goddess approaches, her movements slow and measured. She dips her fingers into the chalice, letting the light swirl between them, and raises her hands, casting tiny threads of illumination across the sanctuary. These threads weave a quiet tapestry of symbols in the air, crescent moons, gentle spirals, and circles that hum with subtle energy. You drift through them, weightless, feeling the calm pulse through your body and mind, as though the very essence of serenity has become tangible and near. The chalice's light shimmers in soft waves, touching the walls and lanterns with its glow. Shadows bend and stretch gently, never harsh, flowing with the curves of the symbols traced by the goddesses. You float amid these gentle movements, noticing how every sound, the faint crackle of the fire, the slow rustle of robes, the soft hum of the sacred light, blends together into a rhythm that mirrors the pulse of your own heart. A low, melodious tone drifts from the far corner of the sanctuary. It is subtle, like a gentle bell vibrating through the chest. You feel it resonate within you, aligning with the slow undulations of light from the chalice. The goddesses respond, tracing arcs and circles above the glow, their movements timed with the soft tone, each gesture a calm instruction for the spirit to release and rest. You float with them, each heartbeat slower, each thought softer, carried by the rhythm of light and presence. The chalice begins to ripple with deeper waves of golden illumination, spreading warmth that reaches the edges of the room. The divine women move around it, raising their arms and letting the symbols extend outward. Spirals of soft light dance in the air, interweaving with arcs and crescents, creating patterns that are fleeting yet persistent, like gentle ripples on still water. You drift through these patterns, letting them brush against your mind, leaving only peace and soft awareness behind. A small breeze passes through the sanctuary, stirring the robes of the goddesses and the flickering lanterns. The air carries a hint of sandalwood and jasmine, mingling with the glow of the chalice. Light bends with the movement of the breeze, creating flowing arcs of gold and silver that shimmer across the walls. You float gently, weightless, letting the soft movement guide your breath and calm your thoughts. The first goddess dips her fingers again into the chalice, lifting a small portion of its light. Tiny sparks rise, forming delicate arcs in the air. Each spark glimmers briefly, a symbol of clarity, trust, and inner calm, then fades softly into the atmosphere. You notice how the light seems to settle in your mind, easing tension and creating a still, quiet space where thought slows and rest becomes possible. A soft hum of devotion fills the room, low and steady, like a heartbeat of serenity. The goddesses kneel and trace small, deliberate patterns above the chalice, the symbols dissolving into gentle arcs of light. You float among them, noticing how the warmth spreads from the chalice to the air, the walls and the floor, and finally into your own being. Each pulse of light is a reminder of peace. each gentle gesture an invitation to rest more fully. The chalice's glow extends outward, touching the corners of the sanctuary and then stretching further, as if embracing the entire world beyond the walls. You drift within this light, feeling it fill every part of your body and mind with quiet assurance. The goddess's presence is soft and steady, their hands moving in slow, meditative arcs, guiding the energy with calm intention. You feel entirely supported, the serenity of the chalice flowing into you with every heartbeat. Lanterns sway softly, casting arcs of light that mingle with the chalice's glow. Shadows bend gently, moving in harmony with the rhythm of the sacred light. You float among the patterns, noticing the gentle curves, the spirals that rise and dissolve, the crescents that glow then fade. Each symbol leaves a subtle imprint of calm in your mind, and with every breath you feel lighter, more relaxed, more at peace. Another goddess kneels beside the chalice, her hands hovering just above the light. She lifts her gaze to the ceiling, and the golden glow follows her movement, forming arcs that trace gentle spirals above you. The light moves softly like a slow river of serenity, carrying the calm of the chalice through the air and into your being. You drift through this river, weightless and secure, noticing how your thoughts slow, how tension dissolves, how rest becomes natural. The chalice pulses one final time, sending out a gentle wave of golden light that touches everything in the sanctuary. The goddesses lower their hands, their gestures complete, leaving the glow to settle softly in the room. You float within the gentle warmth, the soft glow of the chalice, and the lingering presence of the divine women. A deep sense of peace fills your mind, your body, and your spirit, as if the essence of serenity itself has been poured into you. Let us drift onward, carried by the gentle radiance of the golden chalice. Let the calm, luminous light and the soft gestures of the goddesses settle deep into your being, guiding you into restful, serene dreams. Now rest as the sacred glow surrounds you. The symbols shimmer softly, and the essence of inner peace flows quietly through every part of your mind and heart. A gentle light begins to touch the horizon, soft and slow, like the first sigh of morning. You float quietly, weightless, as soft winds lift across an open valley, brushing your skin with a delicate warmth. Mist curls over still waters, drifting past reeds and flowering vines, carrying the faint scent of dew and wild jasmine. Each breath is calm and full, each heartbeat a slow echo of the serene awakening around you. Above, the sky softens into pale pinks and gentle golds. Light stretches across the world like a delicate brushstroke, illuminating the petals of flowers, the curve of smooth stones, and the glimmer of dew on leaves. From this quiet horizon, figures emerge, radiant goddesses whose presence is soft yet luminous, their wings unfolding like gentle waves of light. They rise slowly, their motion unhurried, and the air shimmers softly with their passage. The first goddess glides just above the meadow, her wings broad and translucent, reflecting the subtle hues of dawn. Symbols of renewal, spirals, crescents, and arcs float gently around her, glowing with tender radiance. Each symbol seems alive, pulsing softly in time with the light of morning. You drift alongside her, weightless, feeling the serene rhythm of her motion, a quiet invitation to let go and rise with her, carried on the breath of the new day. Soft winds lift you higher, swirling around the goddess and her companions. They move in slow arcs, tracing patterns in the air with their hands, their gestures forming luminous threads of light that stretch outward and dissolve. These threads carry gentle whispers of hope, whispers that float softly into your mind, encouraging release, rest, and quiet trust in the unfolding day. The world beneath is calm, a tapestry of green and gold, mirrored in still waters that ripple only when touched by the wind. Another goddess appears, her wings a delicate glow of amber and rose. She bends slightly, letting her hands trail along the soft morning air. Each motion creates arcs of light that shimmer gently, forming circles and spirals that hover before dissolving into the sky. These symbols are not demanding, not insistent, only present, carrying the quiet message that even the smallest light can awaken hope. You float beside her, noticing how the dawn itself seems to follow her rhythm, soft and tender, guiding you towards stillness and serenity. The valley is hushed, save for the soft rustle of wings and the distant gentle call of morning birds. Their song is delicate, a faint melody that intertwines with the movements of the goddesses. Each note flows softly, echoing in the quiet spaces of the mind, calming and lulling like a slow, steady heartbeat. The symbols around the goddesses pulse faintly with the melody, each glow a reminder of renewal and gentle awakening. A third goddess sweeps along a higher current of air, her wings catching the first golden rays. She moves slowly, tracing arcs of light across the sky. Tiny sparks rise from her hands, scattering into delicate crescents that drift downward, fading softly into the meadow below. Each spark carries a quiet energy, a whisper of hope, a gentle promise that every night ends with the return of light. You drift in the warm currents, letting the soft glow brush against your awareness, easing tension and deepening calm. Soft morning dew clings to petals and leaves, reflecting the gentle shimmer of the goddess's symbols. You notice the interplay of shadow and light, delicate as lace, and feel the warmth of the sun yet to rise fully. Each breath you take is deeper, slower, in rhythm with the soft undulations of wings above. The world seems suspended in gentle anticipation, each motion measured, each light pulse soft, each shadow protective. The first goddess dips her wings lower, her motion slow and deliberate. Symbols of spirals and interlaced arcs float from her fingertips, hovering before dissolving. These patterns echo the quiet rhythms of nature, the curling of leaves, the soft flow of water, the rise of mist. You drift alongside these symbols, feeling their gentle warmth, their subtle invitation to trust the slow unfolding of the day, to rest in the calm promise of renewal. Another gentle wind carries petals across the meadow. They swirl around you, light and weightless, guided by the soft currents created by the goddess's wings. Each petal reflects a tiny shimmer of dawn, a delicate symbol of the day's potential, the light yet to come. You float amid them, noticing how each movement, each shimmer dissolves tension and invites calm. The air itself seems to hold its breath, waiting with you for the quiet illumination of morning. The second goddess rises higher, lifting arcs of light that stretch toward the horizon. You drift beside her, carried on currents soft and warm. The symbols around her, crescents and gentle spirals, ripple like the surface of still water, their luminous paths guiding your awareness to release any lingering weight. Each movement of her wings carries reassurance, each flicker of light a gentle reminder that every dawn brings new calm and quiet awakening. The sun begins to lift above the horizon, its golden glow blending with the soft light of the goddesses. Shadows melt into gentle warmth, and the meadow glimmers with quiet brilliance. The goddess's wings reflect and refract the light, creating arcs and ripples that move slowly, deliberately, carrying subtle waves of serenity. You drift among these waves, feeling them settle deep into your mind, your chest, and your spirit. A soft murmur drifts across the valley, barely audible, like a lullaby of morning. The goddesses respond with gentle arcs of light and slow, deliberate gestures. Spirals rise and fall in time with the quiet hum, each symbol a whisper of hope, patience, and gentle awakening. You float with them, noticing how every motion of their wings aligns with the rhythm of your own breath, softening thought and inviting rest. The first goddess extends her hands toward the rising sun, and a thread of golden light stretches from the horizon to her fingertips. Symbols of crescents, spirals, and gentle arcs flow along this thread, shimmering softly as they travel from the sun to the earth. You drift through this light, letting it touch your awareness, filling you with calm energy and serene clarity. Each pulse of light feels like a slow heartbeat, steady and reassuring, guiding you toward inner peace. The meadow stretches beneath, its flowers and grasses bending gently in the breeze. Dew glimmers on petals like tiny lanterns, reflecting arcs of light from the goddesses above. You float among the soft glow, weightless and serene, noticing how each shimmer carries quiet promise, each arc of light a gentle touch of hope. The morning feels expansive yet intimate, infinite yet tender, holding you safely in its embrace. A third goddess sweeps past, wings wide and flowing, tracing long, soft spirals in the air. Each spiral glows faintly, then dissolves into the morning light, leaving behind a subtle trace of calm. The breeze carries this calm across the meadow, brushing against your skin, settling in your chest, filling your mind with gentle ease. You drift alongside her, suspended in quiet reverence, bathed in soft, luminous warmth. The first goddess lowers her wings slightly, her gaze serene and steady. The sun rises fully now, a soft golden orb, and the light mingles with the goddess's glow. Symbols ripple across the sky and the meadow, arcs and spirals flowing together, weaving a tapestry of calm and renewal. You float within this tapestry, letting the threads of light and warmth carry you into restful stillness. The wings of the dawn goddesses move in slow, deliberate arcs, tracing gentle patterns that rise and dissolve, like clouds drifting across a pale morning sky. The symbols shimmer briefly, then fade softly, leaving only calm in their wake. You drift within the quiet rhythm, noticing how each gentle movement eases tension, softens thought, and encourages the spirit to rest in serene, luminous peace. Soft petals continue to drift on the morning breeze, mingling with arcs of golden light. Dew glimmers like tiny stars, and the shadows retreat gently, leaving warmth and clarity. The goddesses hover above, wings wide, gestures slow and deliberate, each motion a quiet blessing of hope, renewal, and gentle awakening. You float among them, weightless, your mind and heart filled with the calm promise of dawn. Let us drift onward, carried by the wings of the dawn goddesses. Let their soft light, flowing symbols, and gentle presence settle deep into your being. Now rest. As the sun rises, the meadow glows with soft radiance, and the essence of hope and renewal fills every part of your mind, body, and spirit. A gentle hush fills the air as you drift toward a temple tucked among rolling hills and quiet streams. The world seems to hold its breath, letting only the faintest rustle of leaves and the soft murmur of water reach your ears. The temple's walls rise low and rounded, carved from stone that glows faintly in the silver light of an early evening. Shadows gather and stretch along its edges, soft and unthreatening, as if waiting to welcome you into stillness. You approach the entrance, feeling the calm energy that radiates from within. The doors, simple yet elegant, are engraved with symbols of circles, spirals, and flowing lines that shimmer faintly, as if alive with quiet motion. Each step toward the temple feels lighter, the air more serene. You notice the soft scent of incense, subtle and warm, carrying hints of sandalwood, myrrh, and a delicate floral essence. Each inhalation soothes, inviting the mind to slow, to rest, and to enter the gentle rhythm of reflection. Inside, the temple stretches quietly before you, open and uncluttered, bathed in a soft, diffused light that filters through latticed windows. Golden rays touch the floor, creating patterns that shift and ripple as though the light itself is breathing. The air feels calm, almost weightless, carrying a subtle warmth and the faint echo of distant low drums. You float along the polished stone path, noticing the delicate symbols etched into the walls and floors, each one a whisper of wisdom, a guide to quiet contemplation. At the heart of the temple, divine women move softly. Their robes flow like gentle currents of water, and their presence radiates serenity. They trace symbols in the air, arcs and spirals glowing faintly before dissolving into soft light. Their gestures are unhurried, deliberate, and rhythmic, each motion a quiet invitation to reflection. You drift among them, weightless and calm, letting their soft movements guide your breath, your thoughts, and your heart into stillness. The first goddess kneels near a shallow pool in the center of the temple. The water is smooth and reflective, mirroring the soft glow of the symbols above. She dips her fingers lightly into the surface, sending ripples that form delicate patterns. Circles and crescents emerge, shimmering briefly before dissolving. You float beside the pool, noticing how each ripple mirrors the movement of your own mind. A quiet reminder that thoughts flow, change, and settle in their own time. A soft breeze moves through the temple, stirring the robes of the goddesses and lifting faint waves across the surface of the pool. Symbols of spirals, arcs, and luminous threads rise from the water, hovering briefly before dissolving. Each symbol seems to hum with subtle energy, encouraging calm introspection, inviting gentle reflection on the cycles of thought, emotion, and spirit. You drift among them, weightless, letting the serene motion wash over your mind, smoothing the edges of tension and worry. Another goddess rises slowly, her hands tracing arcs of light in the air. Tiny sparks shimmer where her fingertips move, creating patterns that float in soft layers above the reflective pool. Each pattern carries a subtle message: clarity, patience, trust, and quiet understanding. You drift among these soft illuminations, noticing how each gesture, each delicate shimmer, draws the mind inward. gently slowing thought and opening space for stillness. The temple is alive with a quiet rhythm. The faint rustle of robes, the shimmer of symbols, and the soft ripple of water create a pattern like a slow, steady heartbeat. You float within this rhythm, noticing how each pulse aligns with your own breath, calming and soothing. Shadows stretch and bend with the gentle motion of light, never harsh, only flowing, moving in harmony with the energy of the temple. The first goddess kneels again, drawing a spiral in the air above the pool. The spiral glows faintly, then descends, touching the water and sending soft ripples outward. You drift beside it, following the ripple as it expands and fades, feeling a quiet sense of reflection settle deep in your mind. Each ripple, each shimmer invites patience, self-compassion, and gentle understanding. The temple seems to exhale softly around you as if the building itself is breathing with calm, quiet presence. A low hum fills the air, like the slow vibration of distant bells. The goddesses respond with soft arcs of light, tracing gentle spirals, circles, and crescents above the reflective pool. The patterns move in time with the hum, rising and falling like waves, carrying a serene rhythm that resonates within your chest. You float within the hum, letting it soothe every part of your being, each pulse a gentle massage for the mind and spirit. The second goddess kneels near a stone altar at the back of the temple. She moves slowly, tracing lines and spirals in the air with her hands. Each gesture leaves a faint glow that lingers briefly, forming delicate patterns of light. These patterns shimmer softly before dissolving, yet the calm they leave behind lingers. You drift past her, noticing how each symbol, though fleeting, plants a seed of stillness in the mind, a gentle guide toward inner reflection. A soft breeze lifts through the temple, rustling the leaves of small indoor plants and carrying the faint scent of jasmine and sandalwood. The symbols above the pool shimmer in response, arcs and spirals flowing softly through the air, rising and dissolving as if breathing in time with the wind. You float among the patterns, weightless and secure, feeling how the motion, the light, and the scent together ease every tension, every lingering thought, until only calm remains. The first goddess dips her hands into the reflective pool once more. Tiny sparks rise from the water, forming soft, delicate arcs that linger briefly in the air. Each spark is a symbol of insight, gentle clarity, and quiet presence. You drift alongside these sparks, feeling their soft glow brush against your awareness, soothing the mind, opening space for reflection, and inviting a slow, meditative calm. The temple feels infinite yet intimate, a sacred space that holds time gently. The goddesses move slowly, tracing arcs and spirals hovering above the pool, around the altar, and along the walls. Each gesture carries serenity, each symbol softens thought, and each ripple of light guides the spirit inward, inviting the mind to float, rest, and reflect. You drift with them, weightless and serene, your heart aligned with the slow rhythm of the sacred space. A final glow emanates from the pool as the first goddess traces a broad circle in the air. Light arcs outward and dissolves softly into the air, leaving the temple filled with subtle radiance. The goddesses lower their hands, their motions complete, yet the calm remains, gently resting over every surface, every breath, every heartbeat. You drift among this quiet light, noticing how deep and soft the stillness has become, like a blanket for the mind and spirit. Let us drift onward, carried by the serenity of the silent temple. Let the soft light of symbols, the gentle presence of the divine women, and the calm rhythm of the reflective pool settle deep into your being. Now rest. As the temple breathes softly around you, the water shimmers with quiet energy, and the essence of reflection and inner peace flows gently through every part of your mind and heart. Soft twilight descends over a hidden courtyard, its edges softened by creeping ivy and gently swaying flowers. The air is cool, carrying a faint scent of jasmine and warm earth, and the distant hum of evening insects forms a lullaby. Stones worn smooth by time form the floor beneath your feet, and the walls of the courtyard curve gently, enclosing this sacred space in a protective embrace. You float forward, weightless, as if the courtyard itself welcomes your presence with gentle patience. In the center, a circle of divine women begins to move. Their robes trail like liquid silk, catching the soft glow of lanterns that flicker with warm light. Each movement is slow, deliberate, yet effortless, like a breeze curling around the branches of a quiet tree. Their hands trace patterns in the air, spirals, arcs, and circles that shimmer faintly before dissolving, leaving a trace of calm in their wake. You drift closer, your mind softening with each gentle motion, your breath falling into the rhythm of the dance. The first goddess lifts her arms, drawing a wide spiral above her head. The spiral glows with faint golden light, twisting slowly, endlessly, like the cycles of the stars above. You watch as the shape descends, floating over the courtyard floor, touching the stones, the flowers, and even the quiet shadows. Each rotation feels like a heartbeat, steady and serene, inviting your thoughts to flow and settle without effort. A soft breeze stirs the air, lifting the robes and hair of the dancers. You notice how the wind itself seems to follow the rhythm of the dance, swirling gently around the spirals of light. Petals drift from the flowers above, twirling slowly as they fall, tracing their own quiet arcs in the air. The courtyard seems alive yet hushed, a sacred space where every element moves in harmony with the eternal rhythm. Another goddess steps into the circle, her motions forming arcs that intertwine with the spirals of light already hovering above the stones. Each gesture carries a soft resonance, a silent song that touches the heart rather than the ears. The patterns ripple outward, reflecting the cycles of joy, sorrow, and gentle growth that flow through all life. You float among them, feeling your mind mirrored in the spirals, learning to bend, to release, and to move in harmony with the quiet pulse of existence. The circle widens, and more goddesses join the dance, their robes blending with soft light. Together they move in slow, endless spirals, forming patterns that rise, intersect, and fade like the soft currents of a river. You watch the symbols dance in midair, some bright, some subtle, all luminous with serene intent. Each symbol seems to carry a memory, a quiet reminder of cycles past and a gentle promise of renewal. You let yourself drift with them, weightless and calm, as if the courtyard itself is cradling your spirit. Tiny sparks rise from the stone floor where the dancers' feet glide. Each spark forms a luminous crescent that hovers briefly before dissolving into the air. They resemble small stars, delicate and soft, floating within the arcs of movement. You follow their paths with your gaze, feeling how they map the invisible currents of time and life. Each spark touches something deep inside, coaxing out calm understanding, a quiet sense that life flows, renews, and returns with gentle patience. The first goddess kneels and sweeps her hands through the air, tracing spirals that grow and shrink like breathing. Her movements are hypnotic in their simplicity, each arc a subtle reminder of balance and trust. You feel the rhythm moving through you, guiding your own breath to slow, your heart to soften, and your thoughts to become gentle ripples rather than sharp waves. Every motion, every shimmer of light is a tender invitation to rest and to release. A soft hum arises, barely audible, from the stones beneath your feet. The goddesses respond in kind, their motions syncing with the vibration that flows through the courtyard. Spirals of light bend and fold with a hum, forming intricate, ever-changing patterns. You drift along these luminous paths, noticing how your mind aligns with the gentle resonance, each note of sound and light weaving serenity into your thoughts. The courtyard feels suspended in time, as if the sun, moon, and stars themselves are watching the dance with hushed reverence. The patterns of the spirals twist slowly, rising higher then falling, expanding outward and curling back upon themselves. You realize the dance is endless yet unhurried, a sacred repetition of beginnings and endings, of life and quiet surrender. You float through it all, fully supported, your mind and spirit sinking deeper into calm. A breeze lifts a swirl of petals high above the dancers, carrying them through arcs that mirror the spirals of the symbols. The goddesses' movements follow the petals' slow, elegant paths, their robes fluttering like soft wings. Each arc, each circle is a lesson in flow, in letting go, in moving with the rhythm of existence rather than against it. You drift alongside, feeling the gentle cadence of acceptance and serenity settle through your being. The central pool, reflecting the lantern light, ripples gently as the dancers' motions stir the air. The reflections create double spirals of light, one in the water and one above, echoing softly as if whispering secrets of the eternal dance. You watch the interplay of water and air, of light and shadow, and feel the quiet wisdom of cycles, of beginnings, middles, and soft endings, flowing through your mind and spirit. A final spiral forms, vast and luminous, at the heart of the courtyard. The goddesses raise their arms, and the spirals converge, intertwining, folding, and unfolding. A luminous tapestry of calm energy. You float within its center, weightless, carried by the serene rhythm, and notice how the spirals mirror your own thoughts and feelings, guiding them into gentle, flowing motion. All tension dissolves, leaving only soft awareness and deep, restful presence. Let us drift onward, carried by the sacred rhythm of the eternal dance. Let the spirals of light, the soft petals, and the tender presence of the divine women flow into every corner of your being. Now rest as the courtyard breathes softly around you, the spirals of life and light winding gently through your mind, and the essence of calm, serenity, and quiet joy settles like a gentle shawl over your heart. Twilight has settled softly over the mountains, brushing their peaks with the gentlest hues of lavender and rose. A quiet hush blankets the valleys, broken only by the faint murmur of rivers winding slowly through the land. You float along a narrow path that curves through moss-covered stones, soft earth underfoot, and the distant glimmer of water reflecting the last light of day. Every breath you take feels like it joins with the rhythm of the earth, slow, steady, and deeply calming. The path leads to a hidden grove where the air is cool and fragrant with wildflowers. Here, beneath the canopy of tall trees, you notice gentle patterns etched in the soil, like delicate veins tracing the ground. These markings shimmer faintly, a soft gold beneath the shade, and you understand without words that they are the signs of the sacred earth, the language of goddesses who move silently beneath mountains, rivers, and the soil itself. You drift closer, feeling the quiet hum of energy beneath your feet. A soft wind stirs, carrying with it the scent of damp earth and distant blossoms. You watch as the markings glow gently, like water reflecting moonlight in a quiet pool. The goddesses of the land are here, unseen, yet present, guiding their energy through every vein of rock, root, and river. Each pulse of light beneath your feet seems to echo the heartbeat of the earth itself, steady, unhurried, and comforting. You feel yourself sink into this rhythm, weightless, as if the land itself cradles you. The first goddess reveals herself, her presence like soft amber light filtering through leaves. She kneels beside a small stream, tracing her fingers along the flowing water. Symbols ripple outward from her touch, small waves of gentle energy that spread across the surface, illuminating tiny pebbles and submerged roots. The water murmurs as it moves, carrying the quiet message of renewal, connection, and the patient strength of the earth. You float alongside the stream, letting its soft song wash over your thoughts, calming them into quiet reflection. Another goddess rises from the mossy ground, her robes blending with the deep green of ferns and shadows. She moves slowly, hands lifted, tracing circles in the air. Each motion seems to pull the hidden energy of the soil upward, revealing the delicate veins that connect mountains to rivers, roots to rivers, and spirit to stone. You watch the patterns shimmer like gentle threads of light, weaving a soft tapestry of life, reminding you that beneath every surface there is strength, connection, and quiet belonging. The air hums softly, carrying whispers of ancient songs. The goddesses move in harmony with the sound, stepping lightly along veins of stone and soil, their motions flowing like water and wind combined. Every gesture leaves a faint trail of golden light, connecting each mark on the earth to another, creating a network that spreads through the grove. You feel your body sink deeper into calm, each breath syncing with the pulse of the land, your thoughts dissolving into the serene flow of presence. Beneath your feet, small streams crisscross the grove, their waters reflecting the soft lantern glow of unseen lights. The goddesses kneel beside each stream, dipping their hands into the water, sending gentle ripples outward. Each ripple carries symbols of guidance, patience, and quiet strength. You follow the movements with your eyes and your mind, noticing how your own heartbeat matches the gentle flow of energy, each pulse steady, soft, and grounding. A delicate breeze lifts fallen leaves from the ground, swirling them slowly in the air. They dance above the veins of the sacred earth, tracing gentle arcs and circles that echo the movements of the goddesses. You float among them, letting their motion carry your thoughts, each leaf a quiet reminder that life flows in cycles, beneath and above, within and beyond. The earth beneath you holds you, and you feel an unspoken sense of belonging, as if every root, stone, and river is a part of your own being. In a quiet clearing, the goddesses gather, kneeling and lifting small vessels of water from hidden springs. They pour the water onto the earth in soft streams, tracing new veins of light across the ground. Each pour illuminates symbols of patience, endurance, and nurturing. You watch the patterns weave together, connecting mountains to rivers, soil to roots, and spirit to stone. The grove seems to breathe with this energy, slow and gentle, inviting your mind and body to follow its calm rhythm. The sun has fully set, leaving a faint glow behind the mountains. Moonlight spills across the grove, reflecting softly on the streams and veins that now shimmer with quiet radiance. The goddesses move silently, tracing arcs and spirals in the soil, their gestures slow, deliberate, and filled with care. You drift among the glowing patterns, noticing how every symbol seems to carry a small spark of insight, a gentle reminder of your connection to the world around you. As the night deepens, the sounds of the grove soften into a lullaby. Water trickling over stones, leaves rustling in the breeze, and distant calls of nightbirds. You feel yourself enveloped in this calm, carried by the invisible threads of the sacred earth. The veins of the land, traced by goddesses, glow softly beneath your feet, wrapping you in a gentle embrace. Each pulse of energy, each shimmering symbol, lulls your mind toward stillness, preparing your spirit for rest. Let us drift onward, floating along the veins of the sacred earth, where mountains, rivers, and roots hum in quiet harmony. Feel the gentle energy of the goddesses moving through the land and through you, grounding your spirit and reminding you of your serene place in the flow of life. Now rest as the stars appear above the mountains, and the soft glow of the sacred veins cradles your thoughts in peaceful, enduring calm. Night has draped the world in velvet darkness, soft and still. You find yourself walking along a quiet path, the air gentle and fragrant with the scent of damp earth and distant blossoms. Above, the sky is scattered with stars, some faint, some shimmering with a quiet intensity, as though each one carries a secret long forgotten. You notice that along your path, small lanterns glow softly, their flickering flames like whispers from ancient times. Each light seems to hum with gentle energy, guiding your steps with a tender, steady rhythm. The path leads to a secluded courtyard, enclosed by walls of old stone. Ivy drapes from the edges, brushing softly in the night breeze. Within this sacred space, you see goddesses moving slowly, their hands lifting lanterns and symbols that shine with quiet brilliance. The air is calm, carrying a gentle warmth from the lantern's light. Each symbol they hold seems to shimmer with meaning, revealing glimpses of wisdom hidden in the quiet folds of the world. You float gently beside them, carried not by force, but by a sense of serene invitation. A goddess steps forward, her eyes reflecting the soft glow of the lanterns. She bends and touches one, sending a ripple of golden light through the courtyard. The ripple spreads across the stones and into the soft moss underfoot, illuminating symbols etched in patterns of stars, moons, and delicate lines that trace paths of thought and memory. The symbols do not demand understanding. Instead, they offer quiet companionship, soft guidance through the mind's wandering. You feel your breath slow, in rhythm with the lantern's gentle flicker, your thoughts softening into calm observation. The lanterns sway as another goddess lifts hers high, casting shadows that dance across the walls and floor. In the movement, you see the silhouettes of ancient knowledge, symbols of care, foresight, and tender reflection. The light moves slowly, wrapping around each symbol, revealing its gentle story. A spiral of patience, a star of hidden insight, a crescent of quiet awakening. You float along with these luminous signs, noticing how each flicker brings a small spark of understanding. Not loud or urgent, but gentle, like a breeze brushing against your cheek. Soft whispers rise from the air, barely audible, like the distant hum of celestial memory. The goddesses kneel, each placing their lantern upon the ground, forming a circle of quiet illumination. The lights pulse slowly, in time with the soft heartbeat of the world. Each flicker a small invitation to look inward, to rest, to follow the path of hidden stars. You feel a gentle warmth beneath your feet, as the light from the lanterns mingles with the soft earth, connecting you to the serene wisdom of the night. In the center of the circle, a delicate fountain bubbles, its water catching the lantern's glow and reflecting it upward in gentle ripples. The goddesses pour a little of their own light into the fountain, and as it spreads through the water, you notice symbols swimming beneath the surface. Each one tells of quiet understanding, patience, memory, the gentle unfolding of thought. The water moves slowly, soft currents carrying the lantern light across the surface, reminding you that knowledge, like water, flows gently and endlessly, finding its way through even the smallest channels of the heart. You notice another goddess tracing soft arcs in the air, her hands lifting invisible threads that catch the lantern light. The threads weave around the courtyard, connecting the lanterns, the symbols, and the flowing water in a web of gentle understanding. Each connection hums softly, as if whispering, "You are held, you are guided, you are safe." Your body sinks deeper into this feeling, your mind resting within the light, letting each flicker of the lanterns become a gentle pulse of calm. A hush settles over the courtyard. The goddesses pause, letting the lantern's glow shine uninterrupted. You see the smallest lantern, set apart near the fountain's edge, flickering with an almost imperceptible light. Its glow seems fragile yet steady, like a quiet truth that exists just beneath awareness. You drift closer, noticing that even this faint light carries a profound calm. A gentle assurance that hidden knowledge can illuminate without force, that understanding can arrive softly, without rush or demand. The night air carries the soft scent of incense and blossoms, drifting slowly across the courtyard. Shadows from the lanterns stretch and bend in the corners, forming shapes that feel alive, yet tender. Each movement is like a slow breath, a gentle wave that invites you to exhale fully, to let go of tension, to sink into the soft embrace of night. The goddesses walk among the lights, their hands brushing the lanterns, sending ripples of warmth and quiet energy through the ground. You float along with their motion, carried on the hush of wind and flicker, your body becoming as weightless as the soft glow surrounding you. As you rest there, the lantern's light grows subtly, not bright but pervasive, wrapping around each stone and each vein of water. The symbols shimmer with soft meaning, the curve of a crescent, the spiral of time, the straight line of gentle guidance. You notice that the night itself seems to breathe with this rhythm, inhaling calm, exhaling serenity, offering each pulse to you like a lullaby. You float in it, carried slowly, safely, into the quiet spaces where dreams can wander freely. A goddess kneels beside the fountain and dips her hands into the water, lifting small streams of reflected lantern light and letting them spill across the ground. The ripples carry tiny sparkles that land upon the symbols etched in the earth. Each spark seems to awaken a memory, a gentle thought, or a quiet understanding. You feel these soft sparks brush against your mind, not as knowledge to grasp, but as gentle touchstones to rest upon. Each flicker, each wave, each whisper of light becomes a thread, weaving calm into your thoughts, quieting the mind for rest. You notice a final lantern, held aloft by a goddess at the edge of the courtyard. Its glow reaches high, touching the stars above. For a moment, the courtyard is filled with gentle light, lanterns mingling with the soft twinkle of forgotten stars overhead. The symbols on the ground shimmer in response, creating a web of soft illumination, a bridge between earth and sky, the seen and unseen, the known and the quietly remembered. You float amidst this light, your mind weightless, carried by the rhythm of flicker, water, and the soft movement of the goddess's hands. The goddesses begin to step back slowly, letting the lanterns rest upon the earth and moss, each flicker steadying, a gentle pulse of understanding. You feel the calm of the night sink into your bones, the gentle warmth of the lanterns threading through your being. Each symbol, each soft light, reminds you that knowledge and comfort can arrive quietly, without urgency, without rush. You rest within this circle of soft illumination, your breath slow, your mind settling, your spirit cradled by the hidden stars and their gentle keepers. Let us drift onward through this courtyard of lanterns, carried by their flickering wisdom. Feel the soft energy of the goddesses moving through the night, through each lantern, through the gentle waters and mossy stones. Let the light of the forgotten stars guide your thoughts into serene contemplation, letting your body and mind sink deeper into rest. Now rest as the stars above and the lanterns below breathe together, a quiet rhythm of calm that will carry you gently into dreams yet to come. The night has softened into the quietest hour. You find yourself stepping along a path lined with gentle moss, the air heavy with the scent of dew and delicate blossoms. Each footstep is light, carried by a feeling of ease, as if the earth itself guides your pace. Moonlight spills through the branches above, painting the leaves in silver and shadow. Somewhere nearby, a soft stream hums a quiet lullaby, weaving its gentle voice into the rhythm of your breath. Ahead, a hidden grove unfolds. Its entrance is framed by ancient trees, their branches curved like welcoming arms. Petals, pale and luminous, drift down from the trees, settling softly on the ground and around the stones. They shimmer faintly in the moonlight, each one a small emblem of care, patience, and grace. You step deeper into the grove, feeling a quiet hush settle over your mind, as though the air itself invites you to pause, to soften, to breathe slowly. In the heart of the grove, divine women move among the flowers. Their robes flow like gentle currents, and in their hands they carry blooms that shine with subtle light. The petals bear symbols, delicate and intricate, spirals of patience, circles of love, and soft crescents that hum of quiet understanding. Each symbol does not speak loudly or demand attention, but simply rests in view, allowing the mind to recognize its presence and then return to gentle contemplation. You float alongside them, feeling the stillness of the grove wrap around you like a soft cloak. A goddess bends to a low flower, brushing her fingers across its petals. Light shimmers where she touches, as if the petals themselves absorb her gentle energy and radiate it outward. The symbol of a spiral unfurls upon the bloom, twisting slowly, endlessly, a quiet lesson in the unfolding of time. You notice that the spiral does not rush, does not push. It moves with soft inevitability, like breathing, like the slow turning of the seasons. You inhale deeply, letting the rhythm of the spiral guide your own heartbeat into a slower, more measured pace. Nearby, another goddess lifts a cluster of blossoms into the air. Their petals catch the moonlight, revealing faint golden marks, symbols of grace, of quiet protection, of soft power. The light moves across her fingers, then drifts to the ground, where it settles gently upon a small stone path. Each symbol whispers without sound, offering a presence that comforts rather than instructs. You walk along the path, following the light as it drifts before you, letting your mind float in the quiet wake of its glow. Soft winds stir the branches, and petals begin to drift like gentle snow. The goddesses extend their hands, letting the petals touch your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Each touch feels like a blessing, an assurance of gentle support. The symbols on the petals shimmer faintly as they settle, small reminders that softness can hold immense strength. You feel your body relax, your muscles unwinding as the grove breathes around you. Each petal's landing is a slow, careful moment, a reminder that rest itself is a sacred act, a tender choice that nourishes the spirit. A pool rests at the center of the grove, its surface smooth as glass. Petals float upon it, carried by faint currents that move in circles, gentle and patient. The divine women gather around the pool, dipping their hands into the water and lifting small sprays that glimmer with symbols. The light from the petals and water mingles, creating patterns that ripple softly across the surface. Spirals, circles, and crescents glide over each other, overlapping in quiet choreography. You feel yourself drawn to watch, your thoughts slowing, letting the patterns wash over you, like the soft pull of a calm river. One goddess kneels and scatters petals in a slow, swirling motion. Each petal traces a path through the air, leaving faint light in its wake. The symbols on them glow softly, then fade, like memories that hover just long enough to be seen. You float beside this dance, feeling as though each turn and curve mirrors the rhythms of your own breathing, the gentle pulsing of heart and mind in alignment with the grove's still energy. The petals touch your cheeks, your hair, your hands, reminding you that serenity is alive in small, tender gestures. The air hums quietly, as if the grove itself exhales. A distant drum echoes softly through the trees, not sharp or urgent, but a gentle heartbeat that underlines the calm. You notice the smallest blooms at your feet, petals barely larger than a fingertip. Their symbols, faint but warm. A goddess leans down, letting one rest upon your palm. The spiral within glows faintly, pulsing with a slow, steady rhythm. You feel your own hand grow warm, and a soft understanding emerges. Rest is not absence, but presence. Softness is not weakness, but a form of strength that carries life forward quietly. Petals continue to drift, carried by invisible currents. They settle upon the pool, on stones, on moss, on your shoulders. Each one carries a soft emblem of care, patience, and grace. The goddesses move slowly among them, tending, adjusting, letting the symbols breathe in the open air. You drift with them, stepping softly, letting your thoughts settle into the rhythm of movement and light. There is no hurry here, no need to know. Only the gentle presence of soft energy, a luminous calm that fills the grove and fills you. At the edge of the pool, a goddess dips her hands again into the water, lifting a spray of petals that catch moonlight and fall in a quiet arc. The symbols shimmer as they descend, tracing arcs of understanding that seem to echo the soft movement of your mind. Each touch is a whisper. It is safe to rest, safe to let go, safe to drift into the quiet spaces that open within. The petals land upon the moss, on stones, on the water's surface, creating a mosaic of gentle light, a calm reminder of the grace inherent in small, slow acts. You notice the flower's colors shifting subtly, petals deepening from pale silver to soft gold, then back to delicate white. The goddess's hands move in harmony, their gestures slow and deliberate. Each motion spreads warmth and calm into the grove, into the air, into your body. Your breath matches the rhythm of petals falling, of symbols rippling across water, of light drifting across moss and stone. Every inhalation draws in serenity. Every exhalation releases tension, until your mind floats gently, untethered from worry or thought. A quiet hush settles over the grove. The goddesses pause, letting the petals drift uninterrupted. You see petals gathering around your feet, forming a soft circle. Within the circle, the symbols glow faintly, steady and serene. You kneel or sit within this circle, feeling the energy of patience and grace surround you. Each symbol, each soft light, is a gentle reminder that quiet care and tender attention are powerful, that the world itself moves in rhythms that reward softness and understanding. The moon dips lower, casting a gentle silver wash across the grove. The goddesses step back, letting the petals rest upon the earth. The pool reflects the night sky, a mirror of stars and soft, drifting blooms. You feel connected to the flow of quiet wisdom, each petal a small touchstone, each symbol a tender guide. The grove breathes around you, and you exhale fully, letting the calm settle into your chest, your belly, your limbs. Every part of you is embraced by the quiet, luminous energy of the hidden grove. Let us drift onward, carried by petals, by light, by the gentle presence of the divine women in their sacred grove. Feel the soft energy around you, the slow unfolding of patience and grace. Let each breath echo the rhythm of petals drifting, of symbols shimmering in gentle arcs, of the quiet heartbeat of the grove. Now rest as the blooms and moonlight mingle, carrying you into dreams that unfold slowly, softly, with the sacred assurance of peace. The world softens into twilight, and you find yourself standing at the edge of a quiet river. Its surface is smooth as glass, reflecting the fading light of a sky brushed with soft lavender and gentle gold. Small ripples drift across the water, carrying faint whispers, as though the river itself is breathing. Each whisper feels familiar, tender, like the voice of a gentle memory, long held in the heart. The air smells faintly of wet earth and blossoms, of soft moss, and the promise of quiet reflection. You step closer, your feet sinking slightly into the soft riverbank, and the hush of the water wraps around you, inviting calm. Along the river's edge, divine women move with quiet grace. Their robes float gently around them, brushing the water as they walk. In their hands, they carry small vessels filled with shimmering symbols, petals, stones, and tiny mirrors that reflect the light of the dusk. Each symbol drifts into the river, carried away on the current, sending soft ripples across the surface. These ripples carry the weight of whispered prayers, each one a soft message of devotion, hope, and gentle surrender. You float alongside them, feeling the slow, deliberate pace of the river entering your own breath. A goddess kneels at the water's edge, her fingers skimming the surface. Tiny symbols appear in the water, a crescent, a spiral, a circle, each glowing faintly, reflecting the soft light of the evening. The symbols shift gently, never rushing, their movement calm and serene. You watch as a small wave carries a symbol downstream, and you realize the river holds every prayer that has been whispered into its waters. Some float close, others drift far, all moving together in quiet harmony. You feel yourself letting go, allowing your own worries to float away like these symbols, dissolving into the gentle flow. The women dip their hands into the river and lift them slowly, letting water trickle down their fingers. The droplets scatter in tiny arcs, catching the remaining light, each a luminous reminder of patience, trust, and surrender. You feel as if the droplets carry with them the soft energy of the river, a delicate guidance that teaches you how to release tension, how to flow with life, how to rest in the quiet knowing that all things unfold in their own time. Each drop that falls back into the river seems to echo this lesson, touching the water with tender insistence, yet with softness. Petals drift on the river's surface, their edges glowing faintly, marked with symbols of gentle devotion. Circles of light and soft crescents ripple outward from each one, mingling with the water and the reflections of the sky above. You reach out and touch a floating petal, and the cool, smooth surface of the water beneath it sends a shiver of peace up your arms. The petal seems to pulse faintly in your hand, a quiet heartbeat in tune with the river's rhythm. You feel your chest ease, your shoulders drop, your thoughts soften, carried away on the same current that moves the petals. A goddess stands on a stone in the middle of the river. Her robes trail behind her like liquid silk, brushing the water in gentle waves. In her hands, she lifts a small chalice of clear water. Symbols shimmer within it, soft and glowing. She tilts the chalice, and water pours into the river, sending tiny spirals that carry the patterns downstream. You watch as each spiral expands, touching petals, stones, and ripples already moving gently along the surface. It is a slow, deliberate dance, a choreography of surrender, of letting go, of trust in the unseen currents. You feel yourself breathe with it, each inhalation drawing in calm, each exhalation releasing tension. The river narrows and widens in turns, and with each bend, the light changes. Shadows of the divine women stretch across the water, mingling with reflections of stars beginning to appear in the evening sky. The water carries their presence, their symbols, and their soft energy onward, whispering lessons of surrender that you can feel in your bones. The gentle sound of water over small stones and the distant call of night birds combine in a quiet symphony that slows the mind, drawing it inward, toward rest, toward peaceful contemplation. A goddess kneels at a bend in the river, placing her hands beneath the water. She lifts them slowly, and tiny droplets scatter over the surface, each one holding a symbol of release, a crescent for letting go, a spiral for acceptance, a circle for wholeness. Each droplet touches the river gently, sending tiny ripples outward. You watch them merge with the flow, feeling your own tensions merge and dissolve in the same currents. There is no hurry, no need to do anything but be present, to let your mind float as the water carries these symbols onward, guiding you into gentle stillness. The river widens into a quiet pool. Petals have gathered there, forming soft circles that shimmer with symbols of devotion. The divine women float above it, letting their fingers trace arcs in the water, sending spirals and crescents outward. Each gesture is slow, deliberate, unhurried. You float among them, letting the calm wrap around you. Every ripple, every petal, every soft reflection is a gentle message. It is safe to surrender, safe to trust, safe to rest. You feel your body become heavy, but in the best possible way, like a leaf settling on the water, fully held, fully supported. A soft wind stirs the surface of the pool, and the petals move in gentle arcs. The symbols shimmer and shift, reflecting the last light of day and the first points of starlight. You notice how each movement is soft, almost imperceptible, yet full of intention. The divine women do not rush. They allow the river to move at its own pace, and you realize this is the same way the mind, heart, and body can flow when given permission to relax. The gentle guidance of the water mirrors the gentle guidance of thought, a rhythm that teaches quiet surrender, without effort, without pressure, without worry. The air around the pool hums with soft energy. Petals drift slowly toward you, carrying the faint light of symbols. You catch one in your hand, and the water from the pool cools your palm. The symbol glows softly, a reminder that every whispered prayer, every soft hope, every quiet wish is held and carried forward. You feel your own heart quiet, your thoughts slow, your mind folding into the gentle rhythm of the river. It is an ease that carries through every part of you, soft and nourishing, like a slow, deep breath. The goddesses stand at the water's edge, watching the ripples carry their symbols downstream. You feel a gentle sense of trust, as though you too are part of this quiet passage. There is no urgency, no need to hurry. The river knows its course, and you, floating within it, are held by its soft embrace. Each ripple, each symbol, each petal is a soft promise that letting go is not loss, but a tender release, that surrender is not weakness, but a gentle strength, and that peace is always waiting along the current. As twilight deepens into night, the stars begin to shimmer across the sky. Their light reflects upon the water, mingling with the symbols and petals that drift slowly, quietly. You feel yourself sinking deeper into calm, each breath a ripple of its own, each exhale letting go of worry, each inhale bringing soft serenity. The river carries everything gently onward, just as it carries you. The divine women remain beside it, their hands resting lightly upon petals. Their presence a gentle reminder that the path of surrender is supported, that trust is nurtured, and that rest is sacred. A final breeze stirs the pool, sending petals spinning slowly in soft spirals. The symbols shimmer and fade into the water, leaving a gentle light upon the surface. You let your gaze rest on it, your mind drifting in the quiet passage, feeling every worry and care dissolve into the rhythm of the river. There is only this calm, only this gentle movement, only the soft, sustaining energy of whispered prayers and the women who carry them. Let us drift onward, floating with the petals, the symbols, the soft water, and the tender presence of divine guidance. Feel the quiet river carry you deeper into rest, into the gentle unfolding of dreams. Now rest as the stars return to the sky, and the river of whispered prayers flows softly, carrying your heart and mind into serene, gentle sleep. The sky has deepened into a quiet indigo, and a soft hush settles over the world. Stars twinkle faintly like distant lanterns swaying in a gentle wind. You find yourself standing at the edge of a tranquil glade, where the air is cool, yet soft, carrying the faint scent of night blossoms and dewy earth. Somewhere nearby, the gentle flow of a stream murmurs, a tender companion to the stillness. You breathe in, feeling the calm settle into your chest, and exhale, letting the day's weight dissolve into the quiet of the evening. At the center of the glade, divine women appear, moving slowly, their presence radiant yet soothing. Their robes shimmer in the soft starlight, and in their hands they hold small symbols. A feather, a silver crescent, a tiny golden harp, each one softly glowing. With delicate gestures, they place the symbols into the glade, where they seem to hover in the air, suspended by a gentle energy that hums quietly, like the pulse of a slow, deep heart. Each symbol carries a soft vibration, a note of a melody that cannot be heard with the ears alone, but felt within the soul. A nightingale perches on a low branch nearby. Its feathers glint faintly in the starlight, and its song begins, soft, tender, and unhurried. The notes drift through the glade, wrapping around the symbols, mingling with the gentle sway of the robes, and brushing against the tips of your fingers as if reaching to soothe your mind. Each note is a thread of calm, weaving a gentle tapestry across the night, carrying with it a sense of eternal care and quiet devotion. You feel your breath slow, in rhythm with the bird, in rhythm with the goddesses, in rhythm with the soft pulse of the earth itself. The symbols start to float gently, circling the glade in slow, deliberate arcs. A feather drifts first, then a small harp, then a crescent of silver light. Each movement is a soft dance, carried by the unseen wind of the night. You watch as the nightingale's song seems to follow each symbol, threading them together with invisible strands of melody. The music is not loud, not urgent, only present and patient, carrying the weight of ages and the quiet knowledge of the night. You feel as though every note lifts a small worry from your chest, leaving you lighter, calmer, more tender. The goddesses step forward, their hands brushing the air. Tiny sparkles of light rise from the symbols, catching in the folds of their robes. The nightingale pauses for a heartbeat, then begins again, a longer, more flowing line of song, carrying with it the essence of trust, of surrender, of gentle peace. You feel your shoulders drop, your jaw unclench, and your mind fold inward like petals closing at dusk. The glade feels protective, safe, a cradle of light and soft sound. A goddess kneels, holding a small crystal to the sky. It catches the starlight, scattering it into soft fragments of silver across the grass. Each fragment seems to hum softly, as if singing along with the nightingale. You reach out, and although your fingers touch nothing tangible, you feel a gentle warmth, a pulse of reassurance, as if the song itself flows into you. Your heartbeat slows to match the rhythm of the glade, and each exhale becomes a small ripple, echoing the eternal song. The symbols drift closer, circling around you now, a constellation of soft light. The nightingale moves among them, each note tracing a path through the air. Feathers brush the grass. Crescents hover above small flowers. Harps rest upon the tips of ferns, all moving slowly in time with the song. The goddesses whisper softly, their voices merging with the melody, forming words you do not need to understand. Words that are felt as comfort, as safety, as calm. You sense that every sigh of the wind, every flicker of light, every note of the song carries the same gentle message. You are held, you are known, you are free to rest. The nightingale's song carries a soft pattern now, a spiraling melody that lifts and falls like the tide. You watch the symbols rise higher, spinning in slow circles above the glade, then settle gently back down, touching petals, grass, and stones. Each descent is a soft touch, a reminder that even in movement there is stillness. Even in song, there is quiet. Your mind, once restless, now floats like the symbols, unhurried and peaceful. You feel the soft assurance of continuity, of cycles, of gentle presence that does not fade, only supports. A goddess kneels at a stream that runs through the glade. She dips her fingers in, letting the water ripple in tiny circles. The symbols gather above the surface, reflecting the starlight and humming softly with the notes of the nightingale. The ripples carry the song outward, across the glade, across your body, across your breath. Each ripple touches the edges of your consciousness, smoothing and softening, guiding you toward a state where sleep feels natural, inevitable, sacred. The glade seems to expand. Petals, leaves, small stones, and floating symbols rise gently, as though weightless. The nightingale's song fills every corner, gentle, unhurried, eternal. Each note resonates like a small pulse in your chest, reminding you of love, reminding you of patience, reminding you of soft surrender. You notice your own breathing has matched the rhythm, deep and smooth, carrying the calm that the glade offers. A soft mist rises from the earth, curling around your ankles, soft as a feather, scented faintly with night flowers. The goddesses move through it slowly, their robes brushing the mist, leaving traces of shimmering light. Symbols continue their slow dance, circling you, floating above you, moving with a quiet, deliberate grace. The nightingale rests on a branch above, closing its eyes, its song now a soft hum that vibrates through the air, through the glade, through your body. You feel yourself folding into the calm, the soft embrace of the night, the gentle guidance of unseen hands. The stars in the sky twinkle more brightly now, their reflection mirrored in the gentle stream, mingling with the floating symbols. You feel a gentle warmth in your chest, a soft pulse of peace that spreads through your body. Each note of the nightingale's song echoes this warmth, carrying the promise of rest, of dreams filled with gentle light, of an enduring calm that holds you through the night. You are weightless, held, serene. A final flutter of feathers drifts from the nightingale's perch. The symbols settle upon the grass and petals, each glowing faintly. The goddesses kneel slowly, their hands brushing each symbol with reverence, leaving a quiet energy behind. The song softens, becoming nearly imperceptible, a lullaby that sinks into the earth and your soul alike. You feel yourself drifting further into calm, a gentle surrender to the night, a slow descent into the restful embrace of sleep. Let us drift onward now, carried by the eternal song of the nightingale, by the gentle presence of the goddesses, by the soft light of the symbols that circle and touch everything with quiet grace. Feel the melody wrap around your mind and body, soothing, sustaining, cradling. Now rest as the stars return to the sky, as the nightingale sleeps, as the glade sighs in gentle, eternal harmony. Sleep is near. Sleep is here.